Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the College Fanfair. This is not a bit. This episode could get highly toxic, and viewer discretion will be advised. I am not joking.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm happy. I'm so happy today.
Ugh.
Basketball season.
Okay.
Again.
Well, I guess I'll start with saying a couple things that I want to say. All right. As though I could not hate Georgia anymore, Kirby Smart had to go and prove himself to be the biggest bitch in college football. Okay, calling a fragrant time, or whatever the word is, flagrant.
Timeout.
Yeah, a timeout.
Fragrant.
I don't know.
Obvious timeout.
An obvious timeout, and then arguing, oh no, I was just clapping my hands, and then arguing, oh, it was because Auburn was clapping their hands that I was, clapping my hands. So you can't charge me a timeout when, no, that was everyone knows that was a timeout. And then the refs being like, okay, Daddy Kirby, we'll give it. Like, what a bitch. And I hate this program. It's getting ridiculous at this point. Okay. In no particular order, all the reasons to hate Georgia. Number one, they're boring. Okay, they're boring. Their fight song is just the Battle Hymn of the Republic, not even sung on meter. Their logo was ripped off from the Green Bay Packers, right? And their mascot is an animal, literally in case of animal cruelty. Those dogs should not be allowed to live. Their life is suffering, and yet they keep breeding them because tradition. Like they're just boring. Then you have the accountability issue of that program. Since the past 2 years, they've had 25 arrests, and Kirby does nothing about this. He talks about it, but because he's such a bitch, he doesn't do anything about it. Okay? And it's a bigger issue because these players, they're putting their own lives at risk, but others people's lives at risk. But hey, they win football games. And so Kirby doesn't want to get them mad. You don't need to allow your players to do these things and still win football games, right? Like Ohio State, they win football games. They don't have this accountability issue. Oregon wins football games. They don't have this accountability issue. Georgia Tech, it's in the heart of Atlanta, right? Like a major metropolitan city or metropolis city with bars galore. You don't have this issue. You don't have this issue. So what is it about Georgia? And it has to be the leadership. And when it comes down to it, your coach is a bitch. And so that might be something to say about it. And then the third reason to hate Georgia is the fact that they have the most degenerate fan base on the face of the planet. And they just keep reaching for new lows. Oh my gosh. And for some reason, the SEC just kowtows to these people. And these refs allow them to cheat. Same thing with Oklahoma, although Oklahoma's, I don't know what's going on there. But for Georgia, it's been going on for much longer. I'm sick of it. I hate that program. I would not care at all if the earth swallowed and opened up and swallowed Sanford Stadium. Okay. With that out of the way, Matt, how are you doing?
It's basketball season. Anyways. Yeah, my hatred for Georgia grows every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Full-blown ref ball on display during that game, which made it even worse. And then Kirby Smart, sticking it to the fans. Which Kirby Smart, you can't keep calling him the next Nick Saban. He does shit that Saban would never do. Like the timeout that you said, Saban wouldn't do that. The sticking his tongue out at fans and trying to rile up the
dancing
crowd. Yeah, Saban wouldn't do that. Saban was strictly business. So, anyways, but yeah, it's basketball season, so who cares? I'm getting real tired of saying that. Welcome to the College Fanfair.
Did I forget to say that?
Yes, you did. Today's topic's actually Georgia. The topic actually today, like any other self-respected college football podcast, is about James Franklin.
There we go.
So
thank you for getting us back on topic. I've been holding that in since Saturday.
I try. Which you said toxic. That everybody says that about Georgia. That wasn't super toxic.
Okay.
Toxic would be what I said about Georgia in the group. So the hot topic today, of course, is James Franklin, it's a hot topic for a lot of reasons. It's not just because of James Franklin. It's not just because of Penn State. It's about the shockwaves, which it's a three-headed monster.
Mm-hmm.
Shockwaves are just as important because you have other programs that have just as much tradition and blue blood prowess with worse records that still have their coaches. We'll get more into that in a second. Potential replacements and yada, 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 yada. Micah.
Where does James Franklin end up?
We'll get to that, but I was going to say, this just smells like a mistake.
Yes.
This just does, you have down years.
Mm-hmm.
Programs have down years. It happens. It's inevitable. For Alabama, a down year was like 9 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Right? For Ohio State, a down year is any year they can't beat Michigan, which was a lot. You just go through it. It's hard to stay consistently good. We were kind of talking about it last night. You said Bama and Georgia kind of benefited from just hoarding 5 stars and then resting them behind each other, and that's why they're so dominant. Well, yeah, and then in the age of the
transfer portal
and NIL, totally different ball game. But even before that, when it was strictly recruiting and paying players under the table, let's just be real, everybody did it. It was hard to stay good. It was hard to stay consistent. Like even the great coaches of the day back then, Philip Fulmer, Mac Brown, eventually things just faded for them. But when things did kind of fade for him and 8 wins was the mark for the next couple of years, Tennessee and Texas fired him, saying we could do better. Auburn has recently done the same thing with Gus, saying we could do better than 8 wins. Now, could Auburn and Texas and Tennessee do better than 8 wins? Yes. But you need to knock the hire right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And it needs to be the first hire. It needs to be the first one. It can't be like a string of failures. Like if you whiff on the first hire, that makes it a lot harder. And Tennessee, it didn't work out. Derek Dooley was the next man up. We all know how that went. And that just began a decade of like coaching turnovers and bad hires and blah, blah, blah. And horrible seasons. Texas, same thing. Charlie Strong. They go from Charlie Strong to Tom Herman. They just now got back to some form of relevancy under Steve Sarkisian after a decade of just being in the gutter. Auburn, currently going through the same thing. We'll see how that turns out. So Penn State is next in line to do this. Granted, Penn State's got a lot of money. It's an attractive program. It's just the list of coaches that they want to go after that I've seen. Matt Rule, Kurt Signetti, Marcus Freeman, Manny Diaz. The only 2 realistic ones on that list are, who would you say?
Matt Rule, because of his Penn State ties, and Manny Diaz, because who wants to coach at Duke? Besides David Cutcliffe. Correct.
And look me in my face and tell me that they just feel like lateral moves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Matt Rule's a good program builder. Okay. He wasn't exactly known for beating top-ranked opponents. Same for Manny Diaz. Okay? Like, it feels like you're either going to make a lateral move or go nowhere. Like, Penn State better hope they can grab Marcus Freeman or Kurt Signetti. I don't think it will happen. So, it just feels like it was a mistake. I feel like it was too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Penn State should have waited to see if
it was going to be like a consistent collapse to 9-3.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't appreciate 9 wins until you go a few years without a bowl game.
Yeah.
And then you're like, damn, I wish we could get 9 wins. Because at least we have a shot at double digits.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so you took a step backwards. There's always ways you can correct that, right? Just pick up your needs in the transfer portal and address the coaches that need to get turned out. it's never blow it up and start over. Like, unless things were just tremendously bad.
Yeah.
You know? And I get it. UCLA, horrible program. That was kind of the beginning of the end for James Franklin. Northwestern, also a horrible program that beat you at home. But I mean, they looked competitive
Yeah.
up until the Oregon game. I mean, they were even competitive in the Oregon game. That was a one-score game.
I mean, you could have a situation where UCLA is about to bounce back and suddenly have like a respectable outcome, which means Penn State will look back at that UCLA loss and go, oh, maybe that wasn't nearly as bad as we thought.
Yeah.
And then Northwestern was just like the after effect. And okay, so the season was derailed, right? It happens. Wait next year, James Franklin gets the ship right, and you're back to business as usual. Now we'll never know that, though, because Penn State, caved to the pressure from the fan base, or like arguably maybe the vocal minority of the entitled.
It was actually, I'll tell you what it was. A report came out that I don't remember who said this report, so credit to you, whoever you are out there.
Mhm.
And if it's wrong, remember someone else said it. I'm just repeating it. This journalist on X, who's in the Penn State program, he did say that Adidas, because of their new deal with Penn State,
Mhm.
they were willing to fund half the buyout to get a new coach in there.
Ah.
Which then opens up the question of, so are sponsorship programs involved in coaching decisions now? Like,
In the age of the
I don't
NIL, I
know.
would not be surprised.
Fair, very fair.
Like
But
with how important money plays a role
that's
in
just what I
this
heard, though.
modern
So,
landscape. Yeah, we're gonna have to start dealing with a lot of sponsorship, like corporations getting involved in football decisions, which I hate.
yeah.
Which I think every self-respecting college football fan hates, but we can't do anything about it.
Anyways, so yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see how this works out. I mean, oh no, you lost 2 games. Well, guess what? Like in the age of like the 4-team playoff, that was frustrating. In the age
Yeah.
of the 12-team playoff, 10 wins and you're in. Like,
Right. Like, it's kind of, I mean, now you established like it was because of money that everyone wanted to move to the SEC and not because Texas and Oklahoma knew that even winning the Big 12, the strength of schedule was so weak that they were likely to get left out, which is what I thought the move to the SEC was. And then looking back, I was like, well, in the 12-team playoff, that doesn't matter, right? Because,
yeah,
if you win the Big 12, you're in. So Texas and Oklahoma would have an easier time getting to the playoff every year if they had stayed. But it's money, 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 and has nothing to do with actually playing the sport.
yeah, yep. And Penn State thinks that they can spend enough money to do an upgrade, which the only way, I'm just going to say it, like, we're not going to get too deep into potential replacements. The only way this works, the only way that this move is justified, is if they can go get Marcus Freeman out of Notre Dame.
Even then, that just feels like a
Like,
lateral move.
no, I disagree. Because you got to think about it. Brian Kelly was the James Franklin of Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brian Kelly moves on to LSU, and Marcus Freeman took it over, and Notre Dame actually started winning. Like, they've got 2 losses on the year already, but as we just said, 10 wins gets you in the playoff.
Yeah.
They made the championship game with Riley Leonard, who was not the most dynamic quarterback. I think their freshman quarterback this year is actually better than Riley Leonard was last year. He knows how to get the most out of his guys. He knows how to call a smart defensive game plan. I think he'd be a tremendous upgrade. But
Okay, but
it's the only coach. Well, I mean, him and Kurt Signetti. Like, this move only works if they go get one of those two.
I doubt
There's
any
absolutely
of
no
those two will
guarantee.
actually want to leave their program. Marcus Freeman loves Notre Dame, and he promised, granted, all of those guys had graduated after Brian Kelly, who was just celebrated for becoming the most winningest coach, which is an actual term we use, a winningest coach at Notre Dame. He was like, yeah, but I never won a championship. And that was like winning over him. Suddenly up, and before the bowl game, bolts to LSU. And so it was like this feeling of betrayal in the locker room, and Marcus Freeman was like, hey, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm here for you guys. And again, that whole group of guys have graduated by now, but I wonder if that like spirit and character sticks with Freeman. If because he went through Brian Kelly just up and leaving them all. If he knows, if he's like, no, I'm not, I'm here. I'm here for life.
You got to think about this too. Between Penn State and Notre Dame and Indiana, really, between the three schools, which one is easier to recruit?
I think I'm going to say Notre Dame just because of its more central location.
Notre Dame it's in a great spot, like you said. It's a blue blood. It's just the problem is they don't have the kind of financial backing Penn State has from the TV deals because they're not in a conference.
Notre Dame has the NBC deal.
And that's a cheap deal. And NBC doesn't have to spend a whole lot of money.
But it's such a good deal that Notre Dame hasn't joined a conference despite the fact that they need to.
Well, I mean, the other thing is like Notre Dame is scared to not be able to call their own shots, right?
Yeah.
Because they think they've got... But like Penn State, the $1 billion program when you factor in like the booster money, the fan money, the TV deal packages that they get from the Big Ten Network, which just signed a huge mega deal with Fox. Yeah, with Fox. Big noon kickoff. Not as good as the SEC on ABC, but anyways.
Sorry, the SEC to ABC was such a downgrade from SEC on CBS.
I mean, it was, but like if SEC on ABC brought back the theme song, it would be okay. But
yeah.
Anyways, Penn State just has more appeal, I feel like, because they'll have a bigger war chest in NIL.
But does Marcus Freeman care about appeal? I mean, he's recruiting fine, right? And like you said, like Penn State 10-2 is all but knocked out. Notre Dame's independent status means 10-2, they're a lock. And like in a 12-team playoff.
They haven't won anything of significance yet, though.
They haven't won anything like exact.
Have a chance to this weekend,
But you have to think long term, not just this year, by a year case. Like going forward every year, you have so much more grace than all of these other schools that have to compete in a conference, especially in the Big Ten, where you have to go up against Oregon and Ohio State. And if Michigan, gets their shit together, Michigan.
That's gonna be a fun podcast episode when Michigan finally fires Jerome Moore. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
And Washington, which the most underrated team in the Big Ten right now.
Yes, 5-1. We'll get more on that in a second, but so yeah, this move is only going to work if Kurt Cignetti or Marcus Freeman, if they actually make the jump. Because imagine this, all four say no. Cignetti's like, nope, suck it, I'm staying at Indiana. Marcus Freeman's like, nope, I'm happy here at Notre Dame. Freaking Matt Rule says Nebraska just paid me $10 million not to leave, and Manny Diaz is like, oh, I'm good. Who do you go after that? Like,
yeah. This is kind of like the Auburn Hugh Freeze situation of where no one wants the job because the roster was just nuked.
I mean, Penn State's not. It's not a nuked roster.
It's got
talent. It's just.
But as we just said, the only hires that would make sense that you would want, if they all say no, you gotta scratch. Like it's a Hail Mary shot. You got to take a chance on someone. And those are the college football gods do not smile on those moves.
No, like if you wanted to go outside the box, show me Kenny Dillingham at Penn State. You know, Alex Golish, John Sumrall. Like there's coaches out there. This is a good year to need a head coach because there's a lot of names. But Dan Mullen.
Dan Mullen. I mean, the name that everyone keeps mentioning up until now the name everyone keeps mentioning is Brent Key, but he's not going anywhere. But the name that everyone wants to like point to is Schumann. But as you've pointed out, that's super questionable because it's Kirby Smart's defense, so you don't really know whether or not like Schumann is as good of a hire as he's always cracked up to be.
See, the thing is,
and it'd be hilarious if Penn State was the one who finally hired him after years of speculation, only for it to collapse.
And he sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, so yeah, it's Kirby Smart's defense. So when you think Georgia defense, you immediately think of Kirby Smart. Dan Lanning was there to like assist, but when you look at Oregon, you see what else Dan Lanning was good at that made him a good candidate, which is he knows how to get guys fired up. He knows how to recruit well. You know, he's a player's coach, a young, energetic guy who's Oregon has yet to have a bad day. Even in their worst losses, they have yet to have a bad day. Those are the qualities that Kirby Smart kept him around for. That's what got him the job at Oregon. That's why Oregon is a fun place to play and why everyone wants to go get their Nike money from there.
Yeah.
So, you know, Glenn Schumann might be the same thing. Where, how good is he on defense? We don't know because Kirby Smart does all the adjustments and everything. But if he does the same stuff Dan Lanning does, that's a lot of programs could use that. So, you know, I don't think Penn State would give him a call, though. They're going to want someone with head coach experience.
But again, you might not be able to get someone.
The fun scenario is they hired Clark Lee out of Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt.
I thought about this, yeah.
Calls Dan Mullen. And James Franklin's like, what? Anyway. Yeah. It's a good year to need head coaches. We might have a couple more on the list. I said earlier, oh boy, transitions, love them. I said earlier this is going to send shockwaves throughout college football because Penn State, and I even wrote about this in my last article on Mike Farrell Sports. They're very serious about football, clearly, because they went 3-3, decided, all right, get him out, find someone else. There are programs that have just as much championship pedigree and pride and tradition that are still holding on to their coaches. And it's like, and, you know, I wrote it, you know, obviously being an Auburn guy, I was focused on Hugh Freeze and Auburn, but there's programs out there like Florida. Florida State has even jumped into this conversation now. We're back. The College Fanfair is back. Billy Napier and Mike Norvell are once again
both on the hot seat. Yeah,
both on the hot seat. Like, we're so back. Sharon Moore at Michigan. That's starting to get there because everybody else just looked at what Penn State did and said, "What is our excuse? Are we serious about football?" So who's next to go?
I mean, this is because like Mike Gundy being fired was big coaching news. Bobby Petrino's former getting fired was big news because then Bobby Petrino was hired. Yeah, Sam Pittman, that guy. How appropriate. I'm sorry, it was just appropriate for a guy who coached the Razorbacks to have Pitt in his name.
I know, dude. I love Sam. I'm a big Sam Pittman guy.
Anyways.
Like, he's such a good dude.
But those are like, you know,
O-line coach.
Programs who fired their coach, and those coaches most likely are going to have to take a lesser position, like a Lane Kiffin move, where you go to a group of 5 school, and you just kind of like coach there for a while, get your bearing, prove that you are as good as everyone says, and then come back to the Power 4. But the thing about like James Franklin, which makes it so interesting, is he could easily go to a Power Four school, right? Because again, there's a lot of colleges who would love to go 10-2 every year. Like they would look at that and they would say, okay, yeah, we'll have that kind of success. You know, do we win championships? Maybe not consistently, but James Franklin was finally one play away from getting there, right? In a few more years, he might have actually done it with just a catch everyone else on a down year, him on an up year, you know? And one championship is kind of like all you really need. Bobby Dodd only had 2 national championships during his tenure at Georgia Tech, and they named the stadium after him. And so like there's all of these colleges that are like, look, 10 wins is huge here, so we'll take him. And the reason why that's amazing is because James Franklin would kick the current guy out. And that's just this cascading effect of coaches going to a new place, people getting fired. And so now like the coaching carousel is truly in full swing. And it's not your, ponies going up and down carousel. It's that ride, right, at Six Flags where it elevates into the sky and spins everyone around on swings. Like this year is a doozy.
I'm going to go on ahead and just call my shot. Please welcome to Madison Garden, Wisconsin, the new Wisconsin Badgers head coach, James Franklin.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah. Because I forgot to mention, I listed off all these schools holding on to their coach. I forgot to mention Wisconsin, holding on to Luke Fickell. It was a good hire at the time.
Yeah, but
right? Like Luke Fickell took Cincinnati to the playoff when they were still Group of 5. Good coach. I mean, just hasn't translated. For whatever reason, I still can't figure it out why it hasn't worked out. But Luke Fickell's most likely gone. I feel like the next one of these coaches to lose this weekend is going to get fired the next day. And right now, the 2 coaches...
Because James Franklin is available.
Because James Franklin, yeah. I feel like everyone is going to be watching Hugh Freeze and Billy Napier because they have some pretty tall games coming up. And they're both winnable. Like, it's Mississippi State, Missouri. Like, Missouri, if you turn them one-dimensional and force them to run the ball, you've got a shot. Mississippi State, you just have to keep up. They're both winnable for both coaches, but no one's buying that right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like whoever loses first gets the can. So Hugh Freeze is the name to watch. Billy Napier is the name to watch. Mike Norvell. Funny thing is, Mike Norvell, I heard this rumor from an insider there. They hired Gus Malzahn in the event that they have to fire Mike Norvell so that Gus can be the interim coach at Florida State. And if that does happen, Gus should do the funniest thing ever, which is get revenge for 2013 and just tank the whole program.
Or turn it around and have a Power 4 coaching career again.
I think he's done, dude.
Yeah.
I love Gus. I think he's done.
True.
Like he's had his fun. So, but anyways, I'm trying to think. I feel like there's one more obvious one that I'm missing: Michigan, Auburn, Florida, Florida State, Wisconsin,
Michigan State.
Are they still holding on to him?
They haven't fired their coach yet.
No, they haven't. I mean, yep, yeah. They're 3-3.
Yep. And they have
of course,
struggled for relevancy for a while, so.
And then, of course, the weird, odd situation that is Mark Stoops at Kentucky.
But Kentucky's a basketball school.
Kentucky is a basketball school. It's just, are you going to fire him or not? Like, they've had rumblings for quite some time, but it's like, yeah, but this is the James Franklin of Kentucky. He's the best coach we've ever. He's the winningest coach at Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken, and like the longest tenured SEC coach in the conference. Like, are they going to do it? Is he retiring? Is he not? I don't really know what's going on. But anyways, um, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say Florida probably pulls the plug. We'll get more into why I'm not saying Hugh Freeze in just a minute, right here on the College Fanfare with our
Pajama party.
Jammer Party.
You. I mean, Mark Stoops has a winning record of 77 and 73, but he has an SEC record of 36 and 62. Which for Kentucky, what can you really say
Might
to
as
that?
well be. It's an MVP season at Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, and he's 4-4 of bowl games, so yeah.
Yeah. It's just I saw this guy he was doing like categories of hot seat rankings, and it was like scorching. Billy Napier at Florida, Hugh Freeze at Auburn, Luke Fickle at Wisconsin, warming up. John Smith, Michigan State, uh, Mike Norvell at Florida State. Just all these, and then at the very bottom he had Mark Stoops at Kentucky, Mark Stoops at Kentucky. Anyways, who went first last time?
That is hard to say. I think it was me.
Okay, we're gonna go off that assumption.
Yeah.
It kind of fits, and then you'll know your cue to transition when you hear it. You sly dog.
Okay.
I've already got it worked out. It's all in the plan. So speaking of Saturday with Auburn, I'm getting really sick and tired of my season being over in September and waiting for basketball season. And to make matters worse, Bruce Pearl's not even here anymore. So
Yeah.
I don't even know how that's going to turn out. But I'm just sick and tired of it. Like, no disrespect to Bruce and the house that he built down here on the plains. No disrespect to any of the other um players that have come through here. But hang on a second, give me 1 minute.
Okay.
What?
Okay, well, in the meantime, what should I talk about in the meantime? Oh. I'm just gonna best traditions in college football. Let's see here. Obviously, I have to say the Rambling Wreck. That's classic. And then War Eagle flying around Jordan Air. That is an impressive tradition. I love that one. There's just something elegant about it. Chief Osceola, a flaming spear stabbed into the middle of the field on horseback. That's just cool. Okay. Much cooler than, I think it's USC's, your gladiator goes out and stabs. First of all, right, USC, you do know that the Trojans are famous for losing, right? Second of all, you're not even wearing appropriate armor, right? That's a Roman suit of armor. Okay, he's back. I was going through some of my favorite traditions in college football. So,
fucking company.
Okay.
Fucking twat waffles.
I'm going to have...
Fucking
damn it.
raggedy ass bomber jacket.
Okay, it's bomber jacket. Who cares? You're a founder and owner.
I'm just making you have to cut out a bunch of shit.
I hate you. Okay.
Yep, I know. Anyways, I can make it worse. I can make it so much worse. I can give you so much work to do. I'm not going to. Just cut that one part out. I'm going to start that over. So.
Okay.
And then wait for Amon Corner to be the deciding factor. It's just, I'm tired of waiting for basketball season. We don't even have Bruce Pearl anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't even have that going for us. Which, no disrespect to Stephen Pearl, I'm sure he'll be a fine coach. It's just not a good time to be going into the world of unknowns. So, and I'm not the only one. Every other Auburn fan feels the same way.
Mm.
It's a precarious spot because on the one hand, the offense just isn't going anywhere. The talent development, the evaluation on this staff is horrendously bad at quarterback.
Yeah.
I am seeing first it was Peyton Thorne.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like it was Peyton Thorne.
That was when I knew Hugh
Twice.
Freeze was cooked.
Well, no, the first time, Peyton Thorne, he didn't really have a bad season at Michigan State. It was just average, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I'm talking about after Peyton Thorne plays lackluster, uninspiring football for an entire season. Hugh Freeze saying we can win with him, right? Because that's exactly what Jeff Collins said with Jeff Sims. So that's when I knew. I was like, Freeze is cooked.
That is, I mean, he didn't quite settle with Peyton Thorne. Like, Cam Ward actually had someone who knows Hugh Freeze told me that he talked to Coach Freeze and liked Auburn, but then picked Miami. And also in that same year, Caden Salter went into the transfer portal, flew from Liberty to Auburn, met with Coach Freeze, and when he found out he couldn't commit to Auburn, flies back to Liberty and takes his name out of the portal. Same thing with Grayson McCall, Coastal Carolina quarterback. Like, he goes to Auburn. He wanted to go play for Hugh Freeze at Auburn, which Grayson McCall at North Carolina State wasn't that great anyway. But, Hugh was trying to get guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I feel like people give him a lot of crap for picking Peyton Thorne twice. I feel like he was backed into it. Because he was trying to get guys. But, Auburn, for some reason, Auburn, what are we doing? They have this dumb class that they don't offer to allow a transfer's credits to fully come over. It's cost us 2 quarterbacks now. So, figure it out. Offer the stupid class. How hard? I'll teach it myself. Cheese.
Yeah.
But after Peyton Thorne, it's okay, it's time to hit the reset button, start over fresh, go get a guy with a winning mentality who's not afraid to chuck the ball, who's got a cannon of an arm, hidden pocket accuracy. All of these names I'm seeing that fit what I just described. Mm-hmm. I'm currently seeing on Heisman odds Fernando Mendoza, John Mateer, Dante Moore, and of all the guys, Darian Mensah. All the guys that were in the portal, Hugh Freeze wastes 0 time grabbing Jackson Arnold.
Mm.
And it's okay. Jackson had a lot of things go wrong for him at Oklahoma. That wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
He didn't ask to be put in a system that didn't fit his skill set. He didn't ask to have a new offensive line every single game. He didn't ask to be throwing to 7th string wide receivers who has a future in enterprise car rental. He didn't ask for any of that. But he wasn't exactly a dog, if that makes any sense. He was just kind of, I don't know. That was the guy. That was the guy who Freeze looked at and said, I can fix him. I can, he watched the 2 games of Jackson Arnold before they moved to the SEC. When he did absolutely ball out. Jackson Arnold looked like the next best thing. And, didn't take anything else into consideration. Where it was yeah, all that stuff happened at Oklahoma, but what if the damage is already done?
Mm-hmm.
What if now he's scared to throw the ball because he doesn't want to throw another pick? What if he's still struggling in the RPO because he's got to work his way out of that and get comfortable with it all over again? Because guess what? So far, it's true. That's exactly what's happened. And it's just this can't continue because we're averaging 10 points a game on offense. There's been no second half adjustments, so there's been no scoring in the second half because, as we saw against Georgia, Kirby Smart just switched a couple things up. Auburn couldn't move the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And
say what you will about that fumble call and being like, oh, that cost Auburn the game. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. You got 20 yards of offense in the second half. You can't blame the refs for one. And that whole game was horribly officiated. Okay.
Well, yes, it was. Ken Williamson, I should not know your name, but you are so bad at your job, I know who you are.
Yeah.
So,
But you cannot blame the refs for going from over 200 yards of offense in the first half to 20.
And that's
not even a full drive. You could not put together a full drive in the second half.
And it's the same thing with Oklahoma. This is a bad play calling staff.
And so that's why
we've got bad talent evaluators, bad adjustments, bad play calling. But then he's just on fire on the recruiting trail. He could sell ice cubes to a polar bear. Hugh Freeze could sell a light bulb to the Amish. Like, he could sell shit to a cow farmer. Like, it just makes... I'm sorry, I got that wrong. The saying is he could sell cow shit to a cow farmer. Sorry, Mom. But, like, it's just... The guy, for some reason, still has people bought in. He hasn't... I know that they kicked Damari Alston off the team for whatever reason. The locker room hasn't quit on him, even after kicking off one of the team captains. And he's still recruiting like everything's just fine. And so it's like, okay, on the one hand, you fire him and lose a bunch of recruits, lose a bunch of players to the portal, and then start over. That's going to take another 2 to 3 years. Or you keep him and just keep putting up with the same stuff. Like, I don't trust him. I don't trust him at this point to go get a good quarterback. I don't trust him at this point to call a good game. If he stays at Auburn, he has got to fire Derek Nix, and he's got to go get a knockout offensive coordinator to take all that stuff out of his hands so that Auburn can start winning games again. Because we are wasting generational defenses on this offense. Like, it is so sad. And here's the other thing: people that are afraid of firing him because they're afraid of another 3-year rebuild.
If you don't fire him, you're never going to rebuild.
Yeah.
Like, this program is never going to advance under him.
The idea of like a 3-year rebuild is the norm. That's done. That's done and over with. That is such a dead weight. That's old college football thinking. In the age of the transfer portal and name, image, likeness, you can flip a program in 1 year. I have proof. Indiana, for crying out loud, Indiana, 3-9 the first year, into playoff appearance, year number 2, and they're only going up. They're only getting better. USC, I know Lincoln Riley's had some mid years, but that first year they went from 5-7 to 11-2 because they got a knockout hire. He brought his quarterback, flipped the entire roster overnight. It was a one-night project. Like, the idea of the 3-year rebuild is dead. It doesn't take... It really just depends on who you hire. And Auburn, it looks like so far, it just looks like they whiffed twice now with Brian Harsin and now Hugh Freeze. And that's a very dangerous territory to get to because that's how you start spiraling. And thankfully, like I said, Tennessee and Texas went through their weird years before the transfer portal and NIL. So maybe spirals don't last as long, but like, it's still not comfortable territory. So it just feels like Auburn's in a lose-lose right now with keeping him or firing him. And I truthfully just don't know what to hope for.
Well, clearly the talent evaluation at quarterback is horrendous, but the talent is still there because Hugh Freeze has done nothing. Yeah.
Everywhere else it's great. It's just...
There's a reason quarterbacks are the highest paid player in the NFL. But I don't think it's an issue of him like signing recruiting classes. He could sign the top recruiting class every year and he would still lose because Hugh Freeze is a loser, right?
That's
He
the other
finds ways to lose. He cannot get his teams into the mindset of, hey, we can win this thing, right? Something starts to go bad for him and the game's over. And so
Yeah.
if you're concerned for firing Hugh Freeze because of recruiting, Hugh Freeze started recruiting right out the gate. He started doing really well. Yeah, you lose his recruiting class. Maybe the guy you bring in can come back and do better and rebuild like the recruiting class.
And I'm glad
And
you
this
mentioned
new guy could also win.
I'm glad you mentioned the loser mentality thing because I I agree with you. Like when Auburn, which first of all, that was a touchdown.
Yeah.
Through you, SEC officiating. I hope that each of you in the office in Birmingham stubs your toe for the rest of your life, and just as it's about to heal, it gets stubbed again.
Mm-hmm.
That was a touchdown. 1,000% that was a touchdown. Auburn should have gone up 17-0 on Georgia. Which, if that had happened, probably who knows? Okay, we don't know, but I feel like Auburn would have been a different team coming out of the locker room.
Yeah.
3 scores against Georgia. Okay, momentum carries. The refs took it. The problem is, and I wrote about this in my article, you shouldn't have to worry about officiating
Mm-hmm.
if you truly are a complete team. If you truly are a competitive team.
I mean, I'm gonna pick a team out of thin air, Georgia Tech, who had horrible officiating calls all throughout the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter and still took it to 8 overtimes. Like they did not give up. They forced Georgia to win that game, despite everything going bad for them, right?
Like that, you shouldn't have to get good calls or bad calls. Like the refs should not matter.
Mm-hmm.
Here, like if Nick Saban, and yes, Alabama has had some calls go the other way. Okay, if Nick Saban was in Hugh Freeze's situation and Auburn got denied the touch, or Alabama got denied the touchdown, even though it was clearly a touchdown, what do you think would happen?
Oh,
Two things.
he would not have blamed the refs. He would have ripped into his players.
He would have ripped into his players. He would have ripped into the refs too. Don't get me wrong. Like Ken Williamson would be working at Applebee's after that game.
But in that locker room, he would not have been like, "Hey guys, I know those refs stole a touchdown, but you're doing good." He'd be like, "Hey, you guys allowed the refs to steal that."
Doubt.
Yeah.
Stop leaving doubt on. Yeah. And Alabama would have come out and hung 59, just 59 fuck you points on Georgia. Like instead, Hugh Freeze absolutely folded. Like I could see him on the sideline, just the light go out, and I was like, no. You've got a shot. You're doing good. Get over there, rip them, and throw them back out. Like, don't let the refs beat you. And he did, and that trickles down on the rest of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, okay, dude, if like you said, if you've got a loser's mentality, get out of the locker room.
Yeah.
I want John Sumrall, a guy who just grits his teeth and doesn't give a rip. Like, we're going to go play ball. Like, I just, But at the end of the day, the best thing that could happen for Auburn at this point is to go 9-3, which is still on the table. Do I trust that to happen? Absolutely not. So, yeah, it's a rock and a hard place. Kind of sucks. Where Auburn's at. We're just going to have to hope that Missouri has like an off day and Jackson hangs 35 on him. So, is there a good chance for that? Well, I mean, yeah, it's a home game. It's a night game. Ordinary at night. Can't beat it. The fans will show up. I don't know how much longer they're going to show up. Like at some point, they're just not. Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. At some point, they're going to stop showing up. Like, at some point, enough is enough. They're not going to support the same product. So, but we'll see. Missouri, Auburn's last chance for a quality ranked win.
Mm-hmm. And then if they don't get it, he needs to be fired the next day.
That's the thing, though. I don't know if they will. I don't think they will.
True.
Like I told you my prediction last night. I was like, my gut just tells me win or lose. If he can get Auburn to a bowl game, they'll keep him. but force him to hire a better offensive coordinator.
That's not going to change anything because the problem starts at the very top, and Hugh Freeze can't win games.
You know, keep Hugh Freeze to be the face and the recruiter. Bring me Jake Spavital out of Baylor. Call the offense. That guy was a pain in the ass when we played Baylor. I'd love for him to come be Auburn's offensive coordinator.
Okay, but as long as Hugh Freeze is there, nothing is going to change. He needs to be fired. Will Auburn's boosters do it? No. Why? Because they want a Pat Dye, right? They talk about losers mentality. Oh, we can't actually go and get the sexy hire. We're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again and watch as it never turns out. Like Surprise Pikachu face. You go get some group of 5. Yeah, he's successful there, but he's not going to compete well in the Power 5 or, just something like, as long as he's white, conservative, and male, that's all we care about. Like, it's disgusting. It's horrendous. I'm so sorry you cheer for this team. I hope things get better. Halcyon days ahead of you.
Between the two of us, which of us has seen their team win a national championship?
Between the two of us, whose team has a good coach?
Between the two of us, whose team has produced a Heisman winner?
Between the two of us, whose team was coached by John Heisman by 16 years?
John Heisman wasn't a thing when that happened.
Yeah, he was. He's the greatest.
No, he wasn't.
He's the father of college football.
Then why is his name not on the stadium? That would sell recruits in a heartbeat. Heisman Stadium.
No, Heisman Field. You know what? Like, damn it, you're right. We should 100% Bobby Dodd Stadium at Heisman Field presented by Hyundai.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's a great point for Georgia Tech.
But they didn't do it because they're stupid. Fuck you. Anyway, what are you speaking of
Georgia, I was setting up that transition, and
that wasn't the transition I was going for. I was going to be like, Auburn's looking at names like blah 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 blah. Like Don Serval's going to pop up, Rhett Lashley's going to pop up, Brent Key's going to pop up, but he's not leaving Georgia Tech, right? And then that was going to be it. But you mentioned it, anyways.
Well, whatever.
Go off.
Speaking of Georgia Tech, everyone take a deep breath. Time for a little bit more positivity.
No, I hope they lose. I hope they get the biggest Duke ever. You're going to eat cereal into your microphone while you talk about Georgia Tech. My brother, ladies and gentlemen. My brother. Why he doesn't weigh 300 pounds yet, I don't know. Because all he eats is cereal. This man
Cardio.
lives on cereal. You don't do enough cardio versus cereal ratio to justify not being 300 pounds with how much cereal you eat. This man is probably, if he was ever stuck on an island, the only 3 things he would bring with him is a bowl of cereal and milk. And now he's going to eat it on air into the microphone and crunch. And
ladies and gentlemen, Georgia Tech is bowl eligible.
All that for a bit. Great work. Anyways, since your mouth was full and you can't talk about Georgia Tech.
No, I can. I can still talk.
Tech.
I even got honeycomb.
Alert.
True, and I'm happy for that. Give the boys something to play for. Give them that chip on the shoulder. Give them that edge to go out and dominate. I don't understand why Georgia. It has to be because it's an away game and Duke had a bye week. Yeah. Because by every metric, Georgia Tech is better.
Now Wake Forest, I told you it was the same thing with Wake Forest. They came off a bye week, but Wake Forest's coach isn't on Penn State's hot board right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did Manny Diaz spend that bye week?
Yeah, that's another thing though. The Wake Forest guy is trying to get his job, or like start his career going. Manny Diaz, again, because it's Duke. This guy coached at Miami. Okay, he's better than Duke,
Yeah.
or at least he thinks he's better than Duke. So Manny Diaz is trying to coach to get out. He's trying to leave, and so all of these factors is I am weirdly confident about this game. Knock on wood, but I don't think this is going to be like nearly as close as people are expecting it to be. I think Georgia Tech is going to go out there and do what they did against Virginia Tech, which is just dominate all 4 quarters. Because Malachi Hosley was kind of banged up until the Virginia Tech game, and he talked about being more comfortable running. He talked about having his mojo back, getting back in the groove, and so like the 3-headed beast of Haynes King, Jamal Haynes, and Malachi Hosley is back, or Hosley is back. Jamal Haynes didn't quite perform up to what I would want. He didn't get a touchdown, but we're averaging 7.9 yards per play, right? We are 8th in the nation, I believe, in total offense. We're 8th in the 4th in the nation in total offense. I mean, we're also 8th in the nation in total defense, right? Duke is beneath us, again, by every metric except for passing yards. But when you can run the ball at will, why would you pass? And also, to your point about Haynes King not being able to throw the ball downfield, he threw the ball downfield. Like, he had a beautiful dime thrown to Brett Seither, right, on a crucial 3rd down conversion, and then caught Malachi Hosley for 35 yards for a touchdown. Like, Haynes King, for a quarterback who can't pass the ball, has been passing the ball really well. Like, over 200 yards passing last week. So, I don't get it. Why is this considered an upset game?
Home field advantage.
Home field advantage, but
You need to look at Duke's numbers
mm-hmm.
on offense. Like Malik Murphy. Wait, he's not at Duke anymore. Who's the quarterback for Duke?
I should be able to tell you, but
I'm gonna find this. At Darian Mensah. I literally just said him a second ago. Yeah, he looked really good.
True, but Duke lost to Tulane, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because they've beaten much better opponents.
Tulane's good this year, dude. Don't discredit. Don't you be discrediting Tulane.
But is Tulane better than Georgia Tech?
I'd have to see them play it out. I really would. That's not a knock on Tech. It's just
that's true. That's true.
John Sumrall has right now.
Tulane
is playing good football. I would have to see, they look similar. I would have to watch them play each other to figure out who would win. So, but
I apologize for the hypothetical. That's an SEC thing. We're a better program than that.
No, you're not. You just did it. Anyways, but Duke is averaging 38 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got 30 total touchdowns. I think it's not just the media just hates Georgia Tech. It's like, hey, it's home field advantage, and Tech kind of struggled around the last couple of weeks. So, do I think Duke will do it? Well, no. Come on. It's Georgia Tech. Haynes King has proven over and over again this season he will just find a way to win. If one thing's not working, he's going to find something. He is determined, and this is all boiling up to one hell of a revenge game in Atlanta between Georgia Tech and Georgia. But, yeah. So, Duke's points per game is great. I expect Brent Key to find a way to scheme around that to kind of keep the ball in front of them and slow the game down. So, yeah. it's not media, but again, it's not media disrespect. It's just I think they look at how the trajectory that Duke's on. They look at how Georgia Tech's performed the last couple of games, and they're just going with home field advantage at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, like if this was Duke at Georgia Tech, it'd be the other way around, 1,000%. So, yeah.
Well, we'll find out when they play it on the field. This has become this is going to be Georgia Tech's toughest opponent until Georgia. And so you get through this and you're pretty I'm going to see if I can find this stat.
I'm just curious real quick. He said
ACC
dude,
with a win against Duke.
I'm sorry, but this is okay. You can't really afford to sleep around on either Syracuse or North Carolina State either.
I mean, Pitt just beat Florida State and they look good. But we are still favored against them, and if we beat Duke, we will be even more favored. Right? Like again, I'm not saying that they're bad teams. I'm saying this is the toughest team we're going to play.
Yeah.
And so we beat them, and the rest of the season, take a deep breath, exhale, gets a lot easier. If you're a fan, right? If you're the players, just stay focused, right? Keep doing what you're doing. Listen to your coaches. Secondary needs to tighten up. That was the one thing about Virginia Tech that we could not stop on 4th and 1 the deep ball.
Has Miami not played anyone in the ACC yet? This is hilarious. I'm looking at the Tech. So first of all, congratulations, Georgia Tech, being at the top of the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
Miami is 1-0 in the conference, so they are good for 5th place. Because their schedule so far has been Notre Dame, Bethune Cookman, South Florida, Florida, and then Florida State. The rest of their schedule is straight ACC opponent, but that's just wild. The best record and the best resume in the country. Virginia and Duke play each other, right? Yes, they do. So that'll get evened out.
Virginia,
I still think
Virginia, Duke, Miami, all of them are going to duke it out, no pun intended, and eventually knock one of the teams out. And so if you're Georgia Tech, again, the only team in contention for the ACC that you play right now is Duke. Beat them, and you're good. Theoretically. Or you're better than everyone else. And then you just have to waltz into Mercedes-Benz Stadium and again, get the rematch against Georgia. And Georgia looks bad for Georgia. And Brent Key has said, he coaches every day to beat Georgia. He's he hates the Dogs. More than any coach hates their rival because he's an alum. And that's why, despite having a talent gap against Georgia, he has never lost to them by more than one score. And he damn near beat them until the refs got involved last year. No SEC refs this year. It's at Mercedes-Benz, but it's a technical home game. Haynes King.
You don't know the power of the SEC offices in Birmingham if you think there's not going to be SEC refs there.
No, it's a home game. For Georgia Tech, this is still a home game, so it's going to be ACC refs.
Ken Williamson, they're going to trade Ken Williamson to the ACC, and he's going to walk in.
I'll cripple him.
Anyways.
I'll go break his legs.
He'll go out there in a wheelchair.
I will put, okay, you know that clip from Prickleberry? I will push him out a window I will be damned before I see an SEC ref on that field.
Plot twist. It's neither SEC or ACC.
I don't care who it is as long as it's not SEC. Your officials are ass.
It's Big 12 refs, and they're mad about you beating Colorado. So,
well,
anyway.
that's their fault. They were the refs. What are you doing?
Yeah,
letting Haynes King just do Haynes things.
All that to say, Georgia Tech on upset watch. Neither of us are picking Duke, though.
Yeah.
So, did someone say picks?
Your transitions are bad, but keep going.
Well, hey, you ruined the first one, so, lick my toes.
Okay.
Please don't have to do that.
No, that was weird. Again,
we have a lot of. This is a good week for shakeups. There's a lot of one-loss teams that are either going to jump into the poll or fall out of the poll. So shout out to Florida State for going 3-3. Getting that mess cleared up. Thank you, Pitt. Yeah. So it's a big prove it weekend for a lot of teams, and we're going to get to that specifically. Real quick, who's winning?
I'm going through. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Damn you, Auburn.
Sound like me for the past 3 weeks.
On all of the games that we disagreed upon, you won.
How bad am I beating you right now?
I don't know if you're beating. I mean, actually, maybe. Let's see here. I'd have to go back and count up from the beginning.
Yeah, count up from the beginning. Do it right now. Do it right now.
Okay, let's see here.
Do you not write down the score every week?
No.
You do that.
I really should. Is this the... Yep, okay. Let's see here. So, I got the LSU game right. LSU at Clemson, so that's a point for me. Welcome to the College Fanfair. We have better production value than the ACC network. Just remember that, people.
Or SEC officiating.
Or SEC, yeah, true. That was the one game we disagreed upon in the first week. And then the second week, aha, Michigan at Oklahoma. I got that one right. And then, who won Arizona State and Mississippi State?
I think I called the Bulldogs to win that one.
You did they?
Yes, they did.
Okay, so
that's one of Arizona State's only. No, I'm sorry. That's one of their 2 losses.
Okay.
Lose 2. I don't know.
I'm giving you a point, so make sure Mississippi State won that game.
They did.
Okay, all right. Other than that, we agreed. This was back in like the beginning of the season where everything was boring, and then we trolled and picked Florida State, and it worked. You got the Bama game right against Bama, Wisconsin. I got the Ole Miss game right because Arkansas fumbles, which was hilarious. Like, they almost did the funniest thing, and then they fumbled.
They could have. Just imagine if they were like on the verge of beating Tennessee, and as they're making their goal line drive, they fumbled it. Fans would have rioted. Bobby Petrino would have kicked that running back off the team. He'd have been like,
"Yeah,
get out. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're done."
You got the Nebraska call right against Nebraska, Michigan, right? See here.
No, I picked Nebraska to beat Michigan, and Michigan won.
Oh, Michigan won?
Yeah.
Okay, then. So that's actually a point for me.
That's their only loss so far. So far, my prediction that Georgia Tech, Auburn, and Nebraska would all make the top 25 before the end of the year. So far, I've
Technically
got 2 out
true.
of 3. Technically true. I mean, Auburn could win out, and I could be 3 for 3, but you know.
Okay, so there's that week said and done.
Please tell me you're actually writing the scores down.
I am. I'm going
we don't
through.
Have to like painfully sit through this again.
I am tallying them up. TCU versus at Arizona State. Who won that one?
My God, I don't remember, dude.
Yeah, I'm asking you to look these up.
Hang on. I'll find it. That was Arizona State.
Arizona State? Okay.
Yeah.
I
believe I picked the Sun Devils.
You did.
That one.
Good. I was going to ask you next, like, do you know who you picked? Oh.
I haven't been a TCU believer since Quentin Johnston and Max Dugan, since the 2 of them left. So, again, you want to talk about 1-year fixes? TCU literally made it all the way to the college football playoff and then ran into a buzzsaw named Georgia. And a loss that was so bad they didn't know how to recover, and it carried over to next year. Anyways.
And now we have arrived at this week. You got the Georgia call right. And then you got the Texas call right.
I'm telling you, Stark just has Venables' number.
Michigan at USC. Who won that?
I picked USC.
No, who won?
USC.
USC. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Dude.
Yeah.
Damn.
Why do you think we're talking about Sharon Moore? Because he's lost to 2 teams that he could have absolutely beaten.
So this is week 7, but we missed a week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where is the 6th week?
That might be the week that we missed.
But this is okay. No. Never mind. You're right. I mean, no, but we picked because I haven't seen Georgia Tech at Colorado, and I know that we picked that game. Like we did the week 1 picks, right?
Georgia Tech at Colorado was week 1. Yeah.
No, I've already gotten that because we did Clemson at LSU. So, okay. All right. That's everything unless I find another page somewhere. So I have 8 and you have 10.
Let's go.
Not including the games that we agreed upon because...
Yeah, that cancels each other out.
So you're in the lead by a whole 2.
And it's going to get even worse. Okay, so like I said, this is a big prove-it week for a lot of one-loss teams. After this week, we are going to know. We're going to separate the wheat from the tares. So, starting right off Friday, we don't even have to wait that long, is Louisville with all of 1 loss. Outside the top 25. There's a lot of teams like that we're going to find out about.
Yeah, it's time for the SEC to come down a peg.
We'll get to that in a second. Louisville travels to Miami. Miami needs to start winning some conference games to bolster its championship hopes. So this is a good opportunity for both. Who do you like in this?
So this is the case, like, until proven otherwise, you have to pick the Canes.
I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
You talked about, so first of all, Georgia Tech and Duke, we're both picking Tech. Missouri traveling to Auburn.
I mean, I've been just saying it all the time. Hugh Freeze is a loser.
So you're picking Missouri.
I have to pick Missouri. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't think Auburn is going to turn the ship around anytime soon. Well, I don't think Hugh Freeze is going to turn the ship around.
I'm in agreement with you. And I hate to do this. It's just I'm not picking Auburn again until they prove it to me. But they
Yeah.
can do it. So yeah, Missouri. Um, we both picked Tech. We both picked Missouri. We both picked Miami. LSU and Vanderbilt. Top 25 matchup. And here's the kicker. Are you ready for this, Micah?
Ready?
Vanderbilt is favored by a field goal against LSU
Because it's at Vandy?
because of the quarterback play. Diego Pavia is right now. If I had to pick between Garrett Nussmeier or Diego Pavia, I'd pick Pavia. So both teams have one loss. Somebody's getting eliminated from playoff contention this week.
Who are you taking?
Like Garrett Nussmeier hasn't exactly been downright awful. He hasn't exactly been what we thought. And of course, there's the Brian Kelly effect.
True.
I'm picking Vanderbilt.
You're going to pick Vanderbilt.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to use this game as a chance to close the gap and pick LSU. Game theory, people. Game theory.
Okay. Fine. That's fine. But that's not the only top 25 matchup we have in the SEC. We've actually got a couple more good ones coming up. Ole Miss travels to Georgia. I don't think either of us feel like picking Georgia after last week.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to say Ole Miss. I'm super bitter about the Dogs, about what happened. Actually, who am I kidding? The refs are going to be there. Who are you picking?
Ole Miss. What the hell am I doing? I can't pick Georgia.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to give Lane Kiffin because he did it last year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and this is like Georgia's on a down year. Speaking of down years, Penn State.
I'm going to assume that the SEC doesn't want to look too biased against Georgia, and they're going to let Ole Miss play whatever game happens. And right now, between Gunnar Stockton and Trinidad Chambliss, dude, have you seen Trinidad Chambliss at Ole Miss?
I've watched a few of the games. Yeah,
this guy is incredible. Yeah, I'm picking Ole Miss.
Jeez.
I can't believe I had to talk myself into not picking Georgia. This is an interesting one right here. Texas Tech is traveling to Arizona State. Now, Arizona State is 4-2 and unranked. Texas Tech is ranked number 7. They're undefeated. Okay. I'm picking Arizona State.
Okay.
Kenny Dillingham does not go away. And even though Arizona State hasn't had the record that they were hoping for, also Texas Tech's quarterback got injured, and I don't know if he's still going to be hurt come game time. Mm-hmm. Most likely he'll be hurt come game time. But yeah, I'm going to go with State.
You're going to okay, again, this is the game for me to close the gap because I like Texas Tech. I think they're going to the playoff. So, yay!
I mean, yeah, I agree. So, and then we have 3 more really quick. So, the third Saturday in October is upon us. Tennessee travels to Alabama. Who are you taking?
I'm gonna just, Tennessee wants to get it right. Like, a rival win, right? They couldn't get Georgia, even though they almost did. I think this is a game that Josh Heupel has had circled of like, let's just get this one.
Yeah, this is elimination. This is an elimination
Yeah.
game.
But it's at
So,
Tuscaloosa. That's the only problem.
The thing is, like, for me, it's like between Ty Simpson and Joey Aguilar, who do I like more? Ty Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
But whose weapons do I like more at this point? Because at Alabama, it's literally just Ryan Williams, and then Jay Miller's got a concussion, so he's out this week. Meanwhile, Tennessee has Chris Brazzell, who's playing like a first rounder. I need to check on the status of Bishop, their star running back. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna find out right now. Sean Bishop. Okay. He was injured against Arkansas. It's not. Doesn't look bad. Okay. The expectation Tennessee is he will play against Alabama. So, like, at the end of the day, I like Tennessee's weapons more than Alabama. And that's with Ryan Williams. Like, I like Ryan Williams, but I feel like he's it. Like, if you can take him away, it's a different ballgame. And Tennessee does have the cornerbacks to do that with Gerard McCoy. I don't really know. This is like one of the closest third Saturday in October's since the Hendon Hooker Bryce Young game.
I mean, this is definitely a must watch.
Yeah, and it's a must win for both.
That's what makes it so fun. I'm happy we're at the meat and potatoes of the SEC schedule, so they can start like knocking each other out.
I hope I'm wrong, but give me Alabama.
Okay.
Like throwing my bias out the window and just looking strictly at what's on paper. I can only make a decision based on home field advantage.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Two more games.
I hope I'm wrong. You haven't picked.
Oh no, I picked Bama. It's at Tuscaloosa. Like that's my reason.
Picking Alabama. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Two more games.
USC ranked number 20. Only one loss. They traveled to 2-loss Notre Dame.
I think Marcus Freeman stays another year at Notre Dame.
I mean, Notre Dame wins?
No, because Notre Dame gets its third loss. And why would Penn State hire a guy who has the same record as the guy they just fired?
It's fair.
Yeah.
That's very fair. He gets one loss and they're like, no, we're done. Like, oh, they're screwed.
Who are you picking?
Yeah, I like Jaden Mavi more than CJ Carr right now, so I'll also take USC.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm saying that. But
And then the
last one is the Holy War. Utah versus Brigham Young. What a name for a college game.
I love it. Yeah. I love this game. And it is one of like the greatest crimes committed this season outside of the Auburn Georgia officiating. That college game day. Yeah. They are absolutely robbed.
Well, it's okay. They're going to make up for it next week when hopefully they travel to the South Florida Memphis game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not. It's going to be another SEC or Big Ten game.
There's not an SEC. Hold on a second. First of all, I really don't know who to pick in this game.
Oh, well, for me, it's the Utes. I've been proud of the Utes all season, so I'm gonna pick Utah.
Okay, fine. Utes. Yeah, there we go.
Are you picking the Utes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I've seen only
Coward.
because I've seen more first round mocks with Utah players in it than I Brigham Young players. So, the SEC doesn't have
Oklahoma and
Ole Miss and
Ole Miss.
Oklahoma.
Missouri and Vanderbilt.
Crap. Texas
Oh.
A&M at LSU.
See?
They don't have the stones. They wouldn't do it 3 weeks in a row.
They would. SEC bias is real. Right? Should it be South Florida at Memphis? Yes. Is it going to be? No.
It could do the funniest thing. Okay, here's the deal. I would actually be okay with it if it was college game day for the first time ever in Nashville for Missouri versus Vanderbilt. Like, imagine telling a time traveler that, like, hey, Missouri and Vanderbilt are 6-1, and college game day is in Nashville for the game. Like, no,
Would
that'd be crazy.
I might have to go to that. If they do game day in Nashville, I might have to go.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%.
Tell Jasmine, hey, we're leaving a day early.
I mean, like, now we're just trying to do a bonus pick of where does college game day go. I mean, it's really, really, honestly, it's going to be either South Florida and Memphis or Texas A&M and LSU. Because there's just not a lot of huge games happening that week.
Yeah, it needs to be Memphis, South Florida.
It does.
That would be so great. But nah, they're not going to.
The wild card being if somehow. No, that's not going to happen. The wild card being if, say, Iowa State gets another win, gets its 6th win.
Mm-hmm. And Brigham Young upsets Utah.
Down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That could be a potential place.
Nah, it's Texas A&M LSU.
It's going to have to be. When's the next big ranked?
USC, Nebraska.
Assuming both are still ranked at that point.
Yeah, assuming both are still ranked. That's the only Power 4 ranked conference game that's not in the SEC.
Yeah. And again, a lot could change. I love that we're just trying to figure this out. So SEC bias is currently predicted to go on until
Week 10.
Nope. Oh yeah. Assuming both USC and Nebraska are still ranked. And then it's going to carry on until we get to frickin' the end of the year. When it's in Atlanta, Georgia for Georgia Tech versus Georgia.
That game is played on Friday.
Well,
yeah. I was thinking like clean old fashioned hate is shaping up to be the highest ranked rivalry game at the end of the year. If both Georgia Tech and Georgia can, because Michigan's out of the top 25, Auburn's out of the top 25. Let's just go for it. Week 14.
Let's
see what we have. Week 14.
Oh,
Texas Aggies, Texas. I forgot about that. Assuming both Aggies and the Texas are ranked. So LSU, Oklahoma,
or Auburn just goes on a hot tear and is ranked in the top 25 at 8-3 versus Alabama. Which, if that happens, look at Auburn will win that game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just part of our weird history.
But if clean old fashioned hate was played on a Saturday, I do believe that College Game Day would go there.
Oh, they'd be there.
Just because both Georgia could be like, you could have this year for clean old fashioned hate, you could have a team going to the SEC championship and a team going to the ACC championship playing each other.
Yeah.
like in what could be like an unofficial playoff game.
Mike, how can everybody check you out and see what's going on and all that?
So Twitter at not Micha, ArtStation, M Redding AVA, and then Instagram not Micha IG. I also have an ArcViz dedicated Instagram account, which is M Redding AVA. So those are all of my socials. Matt, what about you?
I am the Barney Man on Twitter, and I also write for Mike Farrell Sports. Come and check us out. We're having a good time over there. In the meanwhile, we will be back next week.
Hopefully still undefeated for Georgia Tech, and hopefully undefeated for Auburn, 1-0.
Yeah. Yep. Anyways, y'all have a good one. Take care.
All right. Hell with Georgia.